there are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead, that I'm looking at like, doggone well, he wasn't doing that when he was alive. So I keep getting lots of contact about my thoughts on the Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay. The interview heard round the world. And I don't know, my take is probably going to be really, really boring. Number one, I want people to keep in mind, my dad has been dead for 15 years, so I
rest in peace.
Have not been fully immersed in the world of comedy. I don't know the ins and outs of that like that anymore, because my end has been gone for 15 years. I've got friends in the game, but we don't sit and talk about, stuff like that. So I don't know Katt Williams. Never met him. That's one person I never did get to meet when my dad was alive. But from everything that I've ever heard my dad, say, he's always seemed like a stand-up dude. So I have no qualms, no quarrels with him. I thought the interview was hilarious, entertaining. That man dropped so many one-liners that I'm sure we are going to be wearing down to the ground in this year of our Lord 2024.
It's a fact. You're a fat Faison lie, bro.
But one of my biggest takeaways in watching people's responses was how people were kind of like, oh, that's kind of sad, like outside of being, tickled by it. And I've seen people say stuff like, it's like watching, your uncles go at it, and you're like, oh, why can't we all just get along? Well, I mean, because everybody doesn't get along. Like, I think that's one of the misconceptions about comedians, and I guess it's due to the fact that what they do brings so much joy to others, that the perception, the expectation is that behind closed doors, everybody gets along, everybody
facts.
It's love. And no, it's not. They've always been competitive. Like it's always been, as far as I've ever witnessed in watching my dad, it's always been kind of cutthroat. Like you'll have, people beefing, like same as within your family. Just because y'all related don't mean y'all all get along, right? Comedy's no different.
I got family I don't like right now.
But for me, Katt Williams has my utmost appreciation and respect for giving my dad his props and his flowers. And I felt like it was genuine. There are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead, that I'm looking at like, doggone well, he wasn't doing that when he was alive. And that, not just famous people, just people all across the board. As my dad used to say, you ever want to be loved by everybody? You ever want to be special? Just die. It's real easy to give lip service when somebody dies and you, oh, they were so wonderful. And that's not how you felt when they were alive. But when Katt spoke of my dad, for me, I felt his heart. I felt that it was genuine, and I appreciate it. Again, it's been 15 years since my dad's been dead. If you follow me,
don't even seem like 15 years, man. Woo. Rest in peace, though.
At all, I've said this repeatedly, like it does my heart good to know that my dad was a stand-up guy, that the man that I knew him to be was who he actually was to people, because that's the thing, like we can love people and think they one way and then find out later no. Facts. And I say, like in 15 years, if he was an asshole, somebody by now would have been like, let me tell you about that mother. So that is not the case with my dad. Makes me so proud, and I just really appreciate what I believe the genuine love and respect that Katt Williams showed my father. It is so much appreciated. Much love and mad props to Katt Williams. I would love to sit down and just have a conversation with Katt Williams, because I think that is probably be the most entertaining and gem-dropping conversation I probably would have in my life outside of conversations with my dad. So yeah, so that's my take. Like I said, probably boring, but that's what I thought. Again, much love and respect to Katt Williams.
Hey, yo, that was Janice, Bernie Mac's daughter, man, and she laid it out on the line. She seemed like she a woman of the Lord, so I know she ain't want to get too, too picky, too controversial with it. But I know she was throwing that shot at Steve Harvey, yo. You know she was throwing that shot at Steve Harvey, but she ain't want to drag my man name, drag his toupee through the dirt. But shout out Janice, man, and shout out again Shannon Sharpe. I don't even know if that interview's at 10 million. Two black men sitting down having a conversation at 10 10 million. This is where social media can go when the content is on point. This is where social media can go when people are professional and good at what they do, man. Shout out Katt Williams, shout out Shannon Sharpe again, man. That's the bar. And they said it in January, man. 10 million in less than, I don't even know how many hours it's been, but shout out Janice for hopping in, man. This interview seems to be touching everybody, but to get your flowers from somebody who truly knew Bernie Mac, that's really what should resonate with Katt Williams, man. Like any comedian can say, yo, he a stand-up dude for speaking his truth. He fake for doing this or XYZ, but to hear it from the family members who out of the game, sometimes you gotta hear, like me as a comedian, the best compliments for me come from people who not comedians. Like when somebody say you're funny who don't know you personally, you know you funny. Cause they judging you solely off the art. Yo, that dude jokes, he funny. I don't know his cousin, I don't know his mom. We didn't grow up together. I ain't sleeping with him. I'm solely basing him off what he did on the stage, and based off what he did on the stage, he funny, yo. That is somebody who, yo, I know Bernie Mac as a man, as a father, and she spoke to that. She spoke to the fact that if out of 15 years of him being in this comedy thing and 15 years him being gone, and nobody's had anything negative to say about him or say his true colors or say he backstabbed him, that speaks a lot about a man's character, man. A lot of these comedians is still living, and every day they got something coming in about what they did and who they backstabbed and what they done sucked to get where they at. So for Bernie Mac to be passed for 15 years and people who didn't like him saying he was a stand-up dude, that's big. That's big. When somebody who didn't even like you, like I ain't rock with Bernie like that, but he was a stand-up dude. Like that's big on integrity, man. That's something we should aspire to, not only as comics, but as human beings, to stand on who we are and be who we are, man. I remember that scene with Bernie Mac. They were filming the promo for the Bernie Mac show, and the camera crew wanted Bernie Mac's son, the guy who played his son, to sit on his knee, and Bernie Mac wouldn't let him because he was very mindful of the perception and what he was putting out into the universe and putting out to the TV for viewers to see. And he just wanted to be seen as a masculine man. I think we low-key kind of missing the masculine black man on TV right now, even though, you know, dudes want to be on TV. They don't care what they portrayed as, and they'll write it off as I was just being a character. I was just acting. Yeah, I was homosexual. Yeah, I got beat up. Yeah, but that ain't who I am. That's a character I was playing. But you also got to realize who's seeing it, bro. Who's seeing it? Who's seeing it? A lot of people that's seeing your content can't differentiate between what's real and what's TV. If all they seeing is men not being men, they gonna assume that men are not really men. But that's my 2 cents and 1,000 cents after that, man. Follow, like, subscribe. Shout out again to Janice, man. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Literally a legend, man. Top 5, dead or alive, man. Bernie and Patrice, yo. We need to get, I don't even know who we could get to speak to Patrice in that way. Because he had a girlfriend, but he ain't had no kids. Neither he had a stepdaughter. So we really need somebody to come up there and tell his story, man. I would say Bill Burr might have known him very, very well, but rest in peace, Bernie, man, the true king of comedy, you know. And shout out D.L. Hughley too, man. And Steve Harvey, man, he ain't whack, you know. Steve Harvey show was good, but now that we saying he stole that from Mark Curry, we don't even know how to feel about the Steve Harvey show. Every time I hear him talk about his haircut in any interview, I'm pissed off, yo. I feel like you living a lie, man.